Okay, dokie. Hey guys, I have another dream for you. I know it's been a long time, so here we go. This one I had a while back. This is my bear dream. I don't remember the date of this dream. I just know it was sometime between probably late August 2016 and as early as January or February 2017. That's the closest range I can get you. It started, I remember standing in a field. I couldn't even call it a field. A dirt lot. A dirt lot. Kind of a breeze blowing through it. It just seemed very desolate, very empty, just dusty. Even the colors were muted. It just seemed desolate is the best way I can describe it. So anyways, I remember standing in this dirt area, and I look over and there's these old muted colored banner flags flying in the wind, almost like an old used car lot sale with those raggedy old triangle banners just flapping in the wind, and almost kind of had the feel of a flea market, an old marketplace. Anyways, there was, as I kept walking down to this area, it was just a big old flea market area, and there was just up and down aisles as far as you could see with people just lined up. They had divided seller tables, kiosks, some even had kind of like a tent set up, almost like they'd been sitting there for a while. This is not just a weekend thing like Denio's. This was a permanent setup, almost like we didn't have shopping in buildings anymore. We were at desolate areas with gathered people. Now, anyways, this fairground like desolate area had tons of people. I mean, just people all over the place. They were bundled up. It didn't seem like it was too warm yet. It seemed like it was just beginning spring. People were wrapped up. I don't remember being cold in this dream. If anything, it would be like a warm spring day, but just the air seemed stale. Even though the breeze was blowing, it was still dusty and dirty, and it just felt alone. And anyways, I was walking up and down this marketplace, and I remember seeing people walking along, busy buying stuff, just hurtling through these little areas, checking stuff out, and just people onlooking, picking up things off tables and looking at them. People were offering money, and just a busy marketplace. And it seemed as if I wasn't interested in anything that was being sold there. I don't actually know why I was there in the first place. It seemed like I was there to watch. I just kind of walked around and watched, and I noticed that people noticed me, almost as if I was an outcast. It seemed almost in my spirit that I felt like I was an outsider, like I wasn't supposed to be out. Like these people weren't like my kind, like I should have been in hiding, or these people were very rude to me, almost like shunned, or almost like I was a bum or a homeless person, you know. Unfortunately, everybody around me looked like they were homeless. It didn't look like anybody had anything new, no new clothes. Everything seemed like it was almost like rags, bundled up, very, how do I put it, Babylon AD, the movie with, Vin Diesel, how it's like the aftermath of something, like people just look like they were vagabonds, just roaming around. It just seemed like it was after a turmoil of some sort, and people weren't in their normal homes, in their communities. It was very desolate and off. Anyways, as I was going up and down these aisles, I noticed there was onlookers watching me, almost kind of scoffing at me, being rude, or if I walked up to a table, they would tell me to leave because they, for some reason, believed that I was not buying anything. I don't know why they knew that, but they knew that I didn't have the type of money, or I just wasn't the type. I don't know. It was weird. And I noticed there's other people like me, but they blended in a lot better than I did. It seemed like they knew to carry on with the flow of traffic. They didn't stop and make, not necessarily a scene, but if you were by yourself, people noticed you more. Just odd. So I noticed these other people, their small little families, kind of moving with the flow of traffic and dipping in and out of places. So I kind of lost track of them. So it was almost like they were just being hidden and just flowing with the marketplace, and they just kind of weaved in and out to get where they needed. And I noticed that there was this one table I had glanced over, and the next thing I knew, there was some people shouting, and I see this bear, a big, giant, massive brown bear, just hurtling towards me, like it was just locked on to me. I instantly just froze. I didn't know what to do. It was just barreling towards me, so instantly I kind of, oh shoot, I need to do something. So I start looking around tables, and I start looking through kiosk areas and little tents, and trying to weave through these doorways and alleyways, trying to find my way so I could lose this bear. And it just was tearing through these tents, just thrashing through things. Nothing stopped it. It just piled through, and it seemed like nobody understood why I was running. It was odd. It seemed like these people were kind of looking like, why is she running? And it's like they didn't even see this giant, hurtling, angry bear just coming at me. And the people that I had noticed that were kind of ducking and dodging and hiding also saw this bear, and they were also worried, but it almost seemed like they were protected. They knew where to go as long as they weren't in the line of sight. And I just remember asking people for help, and nobody wanted to help. They would push me out of their tent. They would throw me out back into the streets, the alleyway, the dirt walkway. Nobody wanted to keep me in their little camps. Everybody was kind of camped around their own little kiosks, sitting around fires, or behind their tables by their little register, or their can of money, or whatever they had. But I just remember being terrified. Nobody wanted to help. And I just kept running to the next place, and nobody would let me in. And finally, it just ended into one of these areas. I don't remember what the vendor was selling, but it was kind of blocked off, like it had walls between it from the other kiosk over. And I remember getting stuck behind a group of people, and they stood there in the doorway almost like they didn't see what was coming at them. And I remember warning them, I need help, we need to get out, this bear is coming, there's nowhere else to go. And there was another family in there, and they realized what was coming, and they tried to escape, and they tried to take me with them, and we weaved through in and out of people's places. But I just remember looking behind me, running, and finally we get to another area, and we get safe from this bear. It finally lost track of where we had ran, but it was just flipping tables over, tents, ripping stuff off of vendors, and it was just crazy. But nobody seemed to really notice. They didn't care. I didn't even notice that people were running, women and children and families just being terrorized by this bear. And nobody seemed to understand, oh, we're in a marketplace. Why is there a giant grizzly bear chasing families and only select ones? It just didn't seem like it was even bothered by these other people shopping around in the marketplace. It was like they're completely oblivious. So that was my dream. I don't remember much other than waking up after that it was certainly odd being targeted. I didn't have anybody else with me. It just seemed like I was alone on this trip. Just like I was fresh bait thrown out into this new world, and I had to figure out what the rules were, and why I was being secluded from most of these other people, and why they weren't seeing or panicking about other things that I was seeing. So that's that dream. I did look up a little bit of what being chased by a bear means in your dream. I googled this one, and it said it represents aversion to someone else's possessiveness, jealousy or unwillingness to share, or represent fear of being alone or noticed by yourself. That was definitely how I felt in my dream, was I didn't want to be noticed. Once I realized that people were noticing me, which personally in my own life I have had those problems. I call myself a Peter, as shameful as it sounds. I would never want to deny the Lord, but in my heart I feel, even with how shy I am to pray in front of my own family, that's not right. I shouldn't be feeling like this. And it's definitely something I'm trying to push past. It's something new, and I feel like I'm the only one in my family right now that is even on the path or anywhere close to the path of finding Christ. And it's really sad. It sucks. It's hard when you have nobody to talk to about it. People call you crazy. I'm used to that. My family calls me crazy regardless, but it's hard to push past your own fears. And in that dream, it made me realize that I needed to push past these walls, because if I wanted to be a Christian, there's going to be times where people aren't going to agree with me or shut me out, call me crazy, and I'll be the tin foil wearing hat lady, but that's okay. So this dream definitely helped open my eyes, and I hope it helps you guys as well. I definitely don't want to be the mold, but we are going to have the enemy attacking us, especially when you're on the path of Christ. So beware, but don't bring it down on yourself either. Be excited, because at least you know that you're on the right path. You're always going to be targeted. You're always going to be told to shut up, or I don't want to hear it, or that's not what I believe. Just keep pushing it. Unfortunately, people wake up on their own times and on God's time. When He wants you to wake up, He will wake you up. But for those that don't, it's hard, because I was one of those. I had Christ in my life when I was younger, but somewhere between teens and early 20s, you forget that and you go off track. And now that I'm back on track, I see it, and I see how bad I saw it when people tried to share it with me. And now that I'm in that position again, it hurts to see these people not heed your word. And I want people to know that it's okay to feel like that, but you need to keep pushing. As much as they don't want to hear it, if the Lord tells you you need to keep pushing, you need to keep pushing. So I hope this helps people understand to keep pushing forward. It feels good to be back, guys. I'm sorry it's been so slow. I actually got married a week ago. I got married on July 7th, 17. Just kind of out of the blue for most of the people that I'm with. I've been with my boyfriend for 10 years, and I wanted to be right with the Lord. So 3 kids later, 10 years later, we finally got married, trying to do things right. And sometimes we're so ass backwards, we got to do things backwards to get back on track. And right now I'm going backwards and taking baby steps. I'm just trying to heed words from the Lord, and quite honestly trying to listen to the Lord and figure out Is this my own thoughts in my head? Is this just a light bulb thought that just randomly popped up in my head? Or is this God trying to put something on my spirit, my mind? And most than not, it's the Lord trying to tell you, or the Holy Spirit saying, wake up. This is what you need to research. This is what you need to do. So don't dismiss it all the time, but don't jump on everything that you're also trying to get thoughts on. So don't jump on the first dream you have that night. Always bring it to the Lord. So I hope I can get on to another one. I know I need to finish up Michaela's second half of her dream. She's been itching. I'm still trying to decipher that one. It's a really deep one, so bear with me, guys. But I'm going to end this one real quick. Love you guys. Stay with Christ. Keep praying. Be strong, family. And Jesus is coming. So hang in there and keep your eyes to the sky. God bless.